that 100 years ago, 1919 was the first observance of what was called Armistice Day, where last year when we had our celebration here, we celebrated when the guns fell silent in Europe to end World War I. Today, we recognize the 100th anniversary of the first recognition of the holiday. I'd like to introduce to you at this time the Speaker of the House of the Wyoming House of Representatives, Representative Steve Harshman.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. And I've said this many times, I've been a Mustang for 29 years. There's not many schools in the country that come together and really do this in such a respectful and proper way. And so today, Veterans Day, and if you're in the auditorium foyer, you can see all those veterans who actually gave their lives in defense of this country, and we've memorialized them. And so when you're entering an auditorium, sometimes take a moment to remember those folks. And today, as Mr. Troy Kimoynian said, is really the 100th anniversary of what was called Armistice Day. In Europe now is about 9-10 hours ahead of us. So at 11 o'clock in the morning in Europe today, everyone stopped. They stopped driving, they stopped working, they observed 2 minutes of silence. And so this was the war to end all wars, World War I, the most catastrophic thing ever seen in the history of the world at that time. And so on the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month, the guns fell silent finally in Europe. And so then, as Mr. Troy Kimoynian said, we started remembering that as Armistice Day. That's when the peace treaty, when it all started. But then World War II happened. And since then, other wars, it was in the mid-1950s that President Eisenhower, of course, who was a general in World War II, led us to victory in Europe, was now president, and they changed the name of Armistice Day then to Veterans Day. So Veterans Day today really is all about saying thank you to all the veterans who have served this country. And there's some 20 million veterans living in the United States today. There's about over 45,000 in Wyoming. That's really about the size of Casper, the number of veterans. It's a significant portion of our adult population. And this is a different day than really Memorial Day, that we celebrate in May. And that's really to remember those who actually died in combat in defense of this country. But Veterans Day today is really about saying thanks. And so I think it's really appropriate now. All of us probably have folks in our family who have served, right? My grandpa served in World War I. My dad, World War II. My brother was a lifetime Air Force veteran. And all of us, if you think, have an uncle or a friend or a brother or somebody out there that's serving. And take a minute today, if you're not near them, send them a text message or a call and just say, hey, happy Veterans Day. And really, it's as simple as that. Acknowledging that service and that respect. And I think that's so important. So today, it's really appropriate to say happy Veterans Day. We have this great representative democracy in this United States. It's unique to the rest of the world, and it is guaranteed and rides on the back of those men and women who have enlisted and who have chosen to serve our country and protect that freedom. So I wanted to recognize and thank, we have, I think, 9 members of our staff here at Natrona County High School who are veterans. And I'd like to, if they're here, they can come on out real quick. Maybe Mr. Ewings and Mr. Myers. Are you guys here? Where are you? And then if you could just wave out, and then Mr. Bernardus, Colonel Schmolzer, Sergeant Riggs, Mr. Johnson, I see over here, Mr. Bodkin, Mr. Schweiger, and Ms. Tulis, who works in the office. And so on behalf of all of us in Natrona County High School, and 9 of you, thank you for your service. Appreciate it. So again, I would just encourage you to always remember, and none of us have perfect lives. I say this many times, but as we work our way through life and we learn and we grow and we develop, and part of that journey here is at Natrona County High School, but as we go on, always patriotic. Always remember, this country is not perfect. It's like our lives, right? And our school's not perfect. But any human endeavor is not perfect. But this is a great country. We have so much to be proud of, and we've done so much for the rest of the world and our own people. And so as we continue to get better, every generation in this country gets better and better and freer and freer. And as young people will become older and grow through this and then leave this country, just always remember, it's such a great country. It's been built on the back of servicemen and women. So happy Veterans Day. Thank you, veterans. Thank you for being here today.
At this time, I would also like to recognize any veterans who came for our ceremony today to please stand and be recognized. I know we have visitors here today.
Can we have them all out here, please?
Yes, if you're able to come out to the floor, that'd be wonderful.
I thought about it. Yeah, just walk out there and just like. A bomb for harbor for you guys.
Representative Harshman brought up a great point that throughout our community of Wyoming, this place that has really long streets and not a lot of folks, we have 45,000 veterans that have served. And most all of you know someone in your family, a neighbor, somebody that has served. So if there's someone that's close to you, you're able to say hello to them today and thank them for their service, that'd be a great thing to do. We talked about that in my class this morning, that there's a lot of connections. And a phone call that I need to make later on this afternoon is to a fellow that grew up in the Black Hills, enlisted for the service on June 6, 1944. And served in World War II, came back, and if it wasn't for the GI Bill, he'd never gone to college and became the first college graduate in his family. And that's my father, John Kirkland. So I'm going to give him a call. I received by email last week a proclamation from the mayor. And the mayor's not able to be here, so I'm going to read a proclamation from the city of Casper recognizing this day. Whereas in 1919, November 11th was proclaimed as Armistice Day to honor our country's World War I veterans on the one-year anniversary of the signing of the armistice, which brought an end to that war. And whereas President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed legislation in 1954, which proclaimed every November 11th as a day to honor all veterans of the United States Armed Forces. And whereas it is with gratitude that we recognize and honor these citizens who selflessly serve their country on land, sea, and in the air. And whereas because of their commitment and dedication to our nation, we have enjoyed many freedoms, and we must extend the same commitment to our veterans by not only recognizing their service, but supporting them throughout the hardships they endure during their service and the ones that affect them and their families long after their service is ended. And whereas both men and women of our armed forces continue to be an inspiration to us all through their demonstration of courage, leadership, and commitment in service to our community and country. Now, therefore, Charles Powell, Mayor of the City of Casper, Wyoming. Here he is. kids.
That's the first time I've ever heard that yet.
Mr. Mayor, I'd be glad to give the podium to you to finish the proclamation.
Sometimes things work out smoothly, sometimes they don't. But here I am, and it's great to be with all of you. And what an important event this is. And so on behalf of the city, I'd like to read a proclamation. And I always like to warn people ahead of time. This one has 5 whereases, so you guys are in luck. I've had as many as 13, so this won't take too awful long. But it is truly a pleasure to be with all of you here today. Whereas in 1919, November 11th was proclaimed as Armistice Day to honor our country's World War I veterans on the 1-year anniversary of the signing of the armistice, which brought an end to that war. And whereas President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the legislation in 1954, which proclaimed every November 11th as a day of honor to honor all veterans of the United States Armed Forces. And whereas it is with gratitude that we recognize and honor these citizens who selflessly served their country on land, sea, and in the air. And whereas, because of their commitment and dedication to our nation, we have enjoyed many freedoms, and we must extend the same commitment to our veterans by not only recognizing their service, but supporting them through the hardships they endure during their service, and the ones that affect them and their families long after their service has ended. And whereas both men and women of our armed forces continue to be an inspiration to all of us through their demonstration of courage, leadership, and commitment in service to our community and country. Now therefore I, Charles Powell, Mayor of the City of Casper, Wyoming, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2019 to observe Veterans Day, and call upon the people of Casper to honor and thank all veterans for their past and continued service to our country. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the City of Casper, Wyoming to be affixed this 11th day of November 2019. Signed, Charlie Powell, Mayor of Casper. Thank you all.
Yeah. Because that kid's sunglasses are so dark. I don't get it. Look at his sunglasses. They're really
I would
dark.
like to welcome Zach Snyder.